Hello, this is Janet Wright, and this is going to be the Metatron Monthly Energy Healing Forecast for August 2019. Again, this is Janet Wright, and this will be the recording for August 2019. And if you are new to these recordings or somewhat new, just to remind you, I listen to messages from archangels for this recording. Metatron is always giving a lot of the messages at the start, and then a lot of times he will have another archangel participate as well. And I have been told in advance that, of course, this will be Metatron, but then later in the recording, not in the free sample length, but later in the recording, Uriel will give messages as well. And he gave messages last month too, in July. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. And when I listen and say these messages, I'll just try to be as exact as I can and just say them the way I hear them from the archangels. Good morning, Janet. Let's get started. August 2019. It's coming fast. So August 2019 is a faster energy, much faster than the second half of July was. Second half of July was sort of mellow, ease into it, although I understand not everyone had a mellow time, but there was a very mellowing energy from nature in the second half of July 2019. That's not so much the case in August 2019. It's still a supportive energy, of course, from nature, but faster change, faster shifts are more possible in August. That's part of why we had suggested the clear repeating patterns video in July in preparation for August. But if you missed it, if you haven't done it, it's still ideal to do it now. It's a video Janet has on YouTube, Janet Wright Readings YouTube channel. And the image is like a circle of arrows. And clear repeating patterns is in the title. So the reason that August 2019 is a faster pace is because nature and astrology acts to drain people of their inhibitions and their resistance. So that's also in part why we had Janet teach non-resistance already last month, because we want people really to feel this, that the rug, if you will, of societal resistance gets pulled out. And so if you are ready to just flow beyond your old patterns that kept you back, it's you'll really notice this shift towards doing things a better way for yourself, seeing things in a way that you didn't notice that is more efficient, realizing that an idea that you've put off doesn't need to be put off anymore. There's a nice level of unrest, if you will, but it's unrest in the best possible way, where you don't need to do things the way you've always done them. So that's August 2019. I think that Janet's clients will be really in the mood for August 2019, because it's Janet's clients. You know, the listeners of this recording, they tend to be very pro-change, very eager for change, and also willing to put in the work. So what is the work of August 2019? Well, clearing repeating patterns, if you missed it in July. Non-resistance, if you missed it in July. Especially the core. Janet had a video to help people clear the core, the inner core of resistance. And I think that one is especially nice for August. The whole suite, if you will, from that playlist, from that triplet set of non-resistance is nice. If you feel that resistance is your thing, then that whole playlist might be better. But the inner core of resistance, that was one of the videos, and I think that's really going to pay off in August if you use it. But yeah, so the way that the stars and the planets and the Earth shifts, there's an opening to unmatch social rules and resistance and group pain. There's a way to just kind of walk right through it and not have it affect you as much in August 2019. And so we've been prepping everybody to make the most of that with the non-resistance. And so it's a good time. It's a good time to see how to get from point A to point B in a way that before may have been too confusing or too stagnant in your mind to even contemplate. So again, clear repeating patterns is a video, and inner core of resistance, clear inner core of resistance. Those are good ones. You can imagine walking forward on your spiritual path and think of your pace. What is the pace with which you've been walking forward in July and June even of this year, 2019? And just think, how wide have your steps been? How long is your step forward, the pacing of it? How big of a step are you taking? And then compare that to what's optimal as far as body, mind, spirit health for you. For some of you, you can take twice as big a step, and that would be optimal for your body, mind, spirit health. For some of you, taking maybe 30% as a reduction. You're slightly taking two big steps. So that is something that I can't say is one way for all of Janet's listeners. But again, the idea is, and you can even walk forward as you do it if you wish, with mindful walking, say in your home. But you could just imagine it, and just imagine you've been walking on your path in June and July, and if you have been moving forward, what has been the length of each step forward? How far forward do you make with each step? And again, then think, okay, but now I want to really optimize my body, mind, spirit health. How does that step length need to change? Does it need to be twice as big? Does it need to be a little smaller? A few listeners will have a pace that is just right, but it's good to check in a few times with that in August. Just because I think August 2019 is, it's almost like a play with 3 acts, and so there's the first act, the second act, the third act, so there will be stages of energy shifts in August 2019, so it's good to recheck your pacing and see that you're still stepping forward in an optimal way for your body, mind, spirit wellness. I think sometimes people think of progress, positive change, and they almost think of body, mind, spirit wellness as an afterthought, or maybe that's what I care about once I've achieved my goals already. Then I'll think about my body, mind, spirit wellness. They don't think about body, mind, spirit wellness as a way to reach your goals. There's an expression that we've been telling Janet for the last day or two Slow and steady wins the race. And slow maybe is not the right word, but that's the expression. Slow and steady wins the race. I would say it's optimized and steady wins the race. So it may be actually, a slightly smaller pace length, for example, with moving forward, but because it's optimally what you need for body, mind, and spirit, you personally at this time in August 2019, then it's very rejuvenating to strike that pacing. And that rejuvenation is what gives you the stability to just keep stepping forward and be more unstoppable. Unstoppable is a really nice term for August 2019 as well. But I do think it has to be paired with, optimizing for body, mind, and spirit. Because with one, you get the other. You can't just think, I'm unstoppable and just, run ahead as fast as possible. Because it's... unless you're at the right pacing for your body, mind, and spirit, then it's not sustainable. It's not rejuvenating enough for you to keep up with it throughout the month. And again, there are 3 stages in the month. I can't exactly say when, but they're roughly similar lengths. There's sort of a middle stage of the month, and then there's the early and the late stage of the month. But it'll be a little bit custom to how do you resonate with nature? How open are you to nature? Janet has a video, Melt Your Wall. We actually had her listen to that right before making this recording. Melt Your Wall. So if you search Janet Wright, Melt Your Wall, you'll find it. It's only a 4-minute video, and that's a good one for August. But also repurpose that video as well, because that video helps you to imagine a wall that is in the way of you receiving divine assistance as much as possible. And also potentially, being open to the group healings that Janet does, receiving the healing benefits as much as possible. So if you melt the wall of the inner resistance and baggage, then you can receive the healing gold energy from your angels, and also on the occasion that you get a group healing from Janet, then you can receive that gold universal healing energy better. But then you could repurpose the video as well and do it for imagining a wall that blocks you from receiving healing energy from nature. And by nature, I mean the core of the earth emits very healing vibrations. Also, the oceans emit healing vibrations. Large forests emit healing vibrations, and not just for people in the forest. If you're open to it, you can be nourished by a forest that's on the other side of the planet. Just because the trees don't really play favorites like that. They're not thinking, oh, you're in a different country, I don't like you. We don't have a treaty. So if you use that video and repurpose it like that, although we do like the original intent of the video too for August. So you can use that video, Melt Your Wall, that little 4-minute video. So you're more open to your angels, and you are able more to receive when you do group healings with Janet as well. But then also the repurpose it so that you're more and more open to healing energy from nature, like the oceans, the forests, the core of the earth. Even large mammals, like elephants, whales, they emit a healing energy for the planet as well. And they're sending it out anyway. So you either receive it and benefit from it, or it just bounces off of you. So why not receive it? it's not like a whale is sending out his unique life force. He's emanating a very healing, almost magical type of energy. Magical, not in a esoteric sense, but just in a sense that it is very unique on this planet. So all the larger mammals are like that. Whales, elephants, even lions, just larger, bigger mammals have the energy to do that, have the life force to do that. But anyway, I just speak extra about that because I feel that humans forget about the large mammals. They think about the oceans and the mountains. Mountains as well is another good example. Oceans, rainforests, forests, mountains, center of the earth. Are you open to all these healing energies? Because the more that you melt your wall of inner stress or just perhaps fear or group pain, the more you melt that wall, then the more you're able to receive these universal, beautiful healing energies that are very potent. But potent in a way that brings your energy into focus, in a way that takes off the sort of fried edge that a lot of people have. A lot of people have a frazzled sort of incoherence to their energy field. And the more nature energy that you're open to, that really is a good remedy for it. For many of you guys who often have a problem with receiving group pain energy from people around you, their sadness, their fears, etc., this could be a nice way to counteract that, is to work on receiving more earth energy and mountain energy and forest energy, etc. And you can work it all at once, or if you feel that you're particularly blocked to a certain aspect of nature energy, you could use that melt your wall video and imagine the wall between you and receiving ocean energy, perhaps, for example, and melt the wall. Some of that could be past life stuff. For example, if you were in a past life, if you saw somebody come to their natural end of their natural end of life in an incident with a large mammal, perhaps that gives you a subconscious wall of where you're closed to the healing energy that large mammals generate. If you had a loved one in a past life who met their natural end in a mountain situation, that might give you a subconscious, bigger subconscious wall blocking you from the powerful healing energy of mountains, oceans. In the same way, that can happen. That if you knew somebody who perhaps didn't come back from a fishing trip once in a past life, then you may have a little bit too much subconscious fear of the ocean, and that is a really vast and powerful source of healing energy. And so you can just use the melt your wall video in that simple way to just melt. And it, as with all this type of work, the more you do it, the more it adds up. Sometimes the first time you use the video is very impactful, but there's definitely something to be said for using the videos over time. Okay, so now let's go with Uriel and allow Uriel to give us more insight and suggestions for August 2019. Hey, Janet. So let's look deeper. So Metatron has been talking about the change, the faster pace of change, within August 2019, and also optimizing one's personal pacing, if you will, one step forward, and how fast are you moving forward, and is that what your body, mind, spirit needs or not? I say body, mind, spirit, they're sort of separate aspects, but the harmony of body, mind, spirit, I think that is something to really be aware of in August 2019. Not just body and spirit, but also mind. So the interesting thing is, Janet, in videos in the past, the angels have had Janet address the mind with deep thought recordings, deep thought videos, healing technique where you clear energy blocks from the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and also the 8th chakra, which is a vast source of eternal wisdom that one has from past lives. So Janet does have deep thought healing videos with deep thought in the title. And I think that is a nice way to bring the mind in and be more in tune with body, mind, spirit as a cohesive union, is to look at the deep thought playlist that Janet has and just pick any one of those videos. An old one, a new one, just some theme that you feel resonates with you. Or if you're in the mood for brevity, pick a shorter one. It really doesn't matter. Just, I do think that's a nice technique. Even there's a blue soak. It probably has deep thought and blue soak in the title. And that could be, let's say, the least technical video of them all, of the deep thought videos. You know, even a kid could pick up on that real fast, the blue soak, because you're just bringing up blue earth energy for your mind, not for your whole body and all that. You're just imagining your mind, your conscious and subconscious mind, and soaking it in the blue earth energy. Very soothing, and it'll help you to realign and have that body, mind, spirit harmony. That is really, really useful and important as the pacing of August 2019 is faster. It's nice to be continually rejuvenating, so that one step gives you the energy for the next 2 steps. That way you don't have to take so many rests and breaks. Although, there is an interesting thing around napping that I think hasn't been addressed enough in these Metatron recordings. We haven't gone into much what a nap is spiritually and how effective it is. And I think that some modern cultures, not all, but some modern cultures have really forgotten what a nap is about, what it's good for, and that it can be very rejuvenating, of course, and time well spent. It's possible that if you could take a nap during a day, then your level of work that day and the next are positively impacted. The idea would be that you don't want to be so sleep deprived that then you want to take a 5-hour nap. The idea is twofold. A, that you're trying to get enough sleep at night, and then B, that you can have a nap during the day. And I think if you're thinking, well, then I can't possibly do all the work I need to do, try to hand that to your angels. Try to, yes, it's possible that there are days when you can't take a nap, even a 20-minute nap. But it could also be that you're in a pattern. You're in a pattern where you have too much activity, and there's not that balance of rest and thoughtfulness and serenity. And so we've already mentioned the clear your patterns, clear repeating patterns video. And so if napping is never a part of your world, you could be missing something. And it's great if people do have a lot of energy and they just don't feel the need ever for a nap. But the thing with a nap is it's like a reset button for the mind and the body and the spirit. And it allows you, obviously, to leave your body and go to the astral, have a quick rest or sleep. And the interesting thing, I say rest or sleep, because say, you take a nap for 20, 30 minutes and you don't get to a point of sound sleep. Maybe you're just resting the whole time. That actually is still effective for what I'm talking about, because you could just lie down, rest your eyes, rest your body, and let your spirit go with your angels. And you could meet in a garden. Everyone has a personal garden on the same location where they have personal akashic records, your private sacred library that you have that's kept by the angels for you. On that level where your akashic records exist, your personal private akashic records exist, there's a fountain, a beautiful fountain, and that is very rejuvenating. You could even sit in your own fountain, since it's your fountain. That's not frowned upon by the angels. So there's a fountain of energy. It looks like a very nice, fountain with water shooting up and it comes down, but it's gold light, and it's very rejuvenating. And then over to one end of this astral sort of area, there's a garden that is yours, that also is maintained by angels for you, and you get to be in that garden and confer with your angels or just rest there. You could go into your akashic records with your angels as you're resting, but usually that's done when the person is fully asleep, but it depends. Your angels could bring you into your akashic records when you're resting. But anyway, you could imagine these places and just let your spirit go there with your angels while your body's resting. And that would be very potent and powerful. And if you fall asleep during the process, that's fine. It works just the same. And if you don't, that's fine too. Another option for napping, if whether or not you fall asleep, is you can have your angels bring you up just far above your body to a safe and sacred astral location where you can kind of just overview things, discuss your day, discuss various decisions, just get a sense of how you're doing with your angels. And you've distanced yourself from your day and from the events of your day, and you get to sort of have a sense of perspective, a sense of stepping out of all the action and activity, and just have a little conference with your angels. What do they think about this or that? How are you doing? When you go back, what do you need to remember? And again, even if you pass out during that, it's okay. Your angels have a way of helping you to bring the messages down with you, even just on subconscious levels. So again, that's, of course, some of the things that you could do in your sleep at night, but even a, say, 30-minute nap, 20-minute nap if you're in a rush, but in that type of time, or longer, 45 minutes an hour, some of these things, of course, there would be time for that, and it's refreshing, and it allows you to re-enter the day with a freshness, a sense that you are now more restored and more prepared for the rest of the day. And as I mentioned, it does shift the next day forward. if you look at, say, your average Thursday would be better if you had taken a quick little nap on Wednesday. Not that you must, but just in that way that if you ever sneak a nap into your day or build it into your day, it pays off. And I think that sometimes we emphasize productivity so much that people forget that the inner harmony and are you restored really does pay off in the end. And naps are one way to help achieve that. Okay, so I think we've rounded up an interesting sort of suite of tips for August 2019. It is true that the pace of change is faster in August 2019, in part because nature and the stars are helping to break up some of the group pain and the group rules and stagnant energy. So if you're ready for it, you can surf a nice wave of originality. And we mentioned the optimization of body, mind, spirit, just maybe with one of the Deep Thought videos or the Deep Thought Blue Soak video. We mentioned clearing repeating patterns. That video, clear repeating patterns, just to help you be more likely to step outside of some of your old stale patterns within August 2019. We talked about napping, which is a unique way to recharge. We've also talked about using the Melt Your Wall video in a way to receive from your angels more, but also from nature more in August. And that's relevant at all times to receive more from nature in August, at all times to receive more from nature. But we bring it up now because of the pacing idea. If you think about what pace you need, part of that has to do with, can you receive? Sometimes if you're going too fast, you're no longer receiving. So you're kind of, that expression, burning the candle at both ends. You're just depleting yourself the more you go at that pace. And so ultimately it's not sustainable. So if you find the right pace for your body, mind, and spirit, and you extra work on this receiving from your angels and from these earth sources, then each step helps support you for the next step. And that allows you to generate a stronger sense of momentum and stability and continuity. So I think that's enough for us to say. Nothing particularly unsettling for August 2019, sort of in an overall sense. It's just about tuning your pace and tuning your receiving so that your progress is more, so that you're not self-sacrificing for your progress. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Janet. Metatron's letting me end this one. So I'm always glad to. And I want to salute Janet's listeners, that they have the courage to contemplate on these levels and to realize that you can't get edified unless you put forth the effort. Small things like listening to a recording like this and maybe take a few notes, or you just listen to a recording like this while you're walking or stretching or falling asleep even. But that sometimes a little bit of a certain action is very nurturing for one's wisdom in one's insight. So, congratulations for taking action in a way that can open your mind to a better way. Okay, that's it. Janet, go rest. Okay, it's just me, Janet, right now. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope it was beneficial for you. And again, my name is Janet Wright, and my website is janetwrightreadings.com. Thank you.